Hello, everyone. We're live right now. You're welcome to today's episode. And just before we go in starting, let's just wait and take a little break before I bring my guest out. Hi, you're welcome to Making a Difference with Sandra Ukoh. I believe there is a great giant. Hi, you're welcome to Making a Difference with Sandra Ukoh. I believe there is a great giant in you waiting to be discovered and Hi, you're welcome to Making a Difference with Sandra Ukoh. I believe there is a great giant in you waiting to be discovered and unearthed. You have within you right now all that you need to become that change agent and the best version of you that God has made you to be. It is time to ignite you and discover your greater potential and to see the possibilities that exist within you to help you maximize your potential. Through this unique platform for mentoring, just a second, let me just go in and just introduce what the show is all about. I wanted the video to be the one to read it out, but I think there's some kind of internet disconnection. So I'll just go straight to saying, hi, you're welcome to Making a Difference with Sandra Ukoh. I believe there's a giant in you waiting to be discovered and a nest. You have within you right now all that you need to become that change agent and the best version of you that God has made you to be. It is time to ignite you and to discover your greater potential and to see the possibilities that exist within you to help you maximize your potential through this unique platform for mentoring, training, teaching and coaching people on how they can become better versions of themselves after being through some trauma, trials in their finances, life, business, ministry, career, relationship, marriage, and a lot more. At Making a Difference with Sandra Ukoh live show, we leverage on the power of storytelling, coaching, and mentorship and value creation to help bring about the best in people in order to create a world of difference. This show requires bringing us to assessing our value system and process of recreation of a good value system to help shape our thought through the guests that share their story. This process opens our eyes to new strategies, information, valuable perspective that will help us define and refine our value system with more clarity on knowing our why. Why would we need to know why we are here? Why am I here? What have I been called to do or solve? To help people with a mindset in mind, begin with the end in mind, and to stand out. You can join us live every Monday, 5 p.m. EST, 10 p.m. West African time via our YouTube channel, Sandra NB Ukoh. And if you have a great story or testimony you want to share with us, you can send us a mail at info@deepinsightworld.com. We'll welcome you for today's show. You are welcome. And right now, before I bring in the guest, I would want to read a short bio about how she's making a difference in the world. Yeah, our guest today is Eruke Emore. And she's been an author and a certified parenting family coach and a mother to 4 beautiful children. She has been working with families for over 12 years to helping them transform a life of despair and hopelessness into a fulfilling and a purposeful one. And the right next best voice you get to hear is our guest for today. Hello. So great to
Hi,
meet you.
it's good to be here today. Thank
I'm
you,
sorry for the
Sandra.
internet, and I don't know. I don't know what happened. I wanted to use the intro video to introduce the show, but I just found out that it was going off and on, and I just needed to come and just take it over. I really
Technologies happen sometimes. So,
welcome and glad to have you on this show.
thank you. I'm glad to be here right now. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you. And I want to find out from you what informed you in going to college, because sometimes we have our youth these days. The diverse ways of making money now.
Mhm.
People make money whilst in school, and so really they just ask, "What's the essence of going to college?" So, do you have I'm sure you have a reason why you went to college and why you're still, training and, getting to train yourself and reading more.
Okay, so for the discussion about college, why did I go to college and why would anyone want to go to college at this time? One of the major reasons you go to college is to unlearn, relearn, and learn again. You
Sure.
can never get enough of learning. And in our fast paced world for today, if you're not moving with the tide, you get swept away. You must find ways to improve yourself. Yes, you need to go to college, you need to go to school, you need to get more knowledgeable about things that are happening around here. I'll give you an instance. Do you know new things are coming up every day? Whatever you've learned 3 years ago, you think you know so much. Guess what? Every day, right now,
Yeah.
technology is at the speed of your fingertips. Things are coming at a fast pace, and you need to be at par with other people. The
Yeah.
only way you can distinguish yourself is to go to college. One of the things about college is learn something you love. Back then, Sandra, our parents would, enforce it on you. You must be a doctor, you must be a
Sure.
lawyer, you must read engineering. But right now, there are so many diverse courses and so many ways to express yourself. And the only way you can find expression in those things is by improving yourself. So when you go to college, you improve yourself and you become a better version of yourself. Some people might argue and say, I don't have to go to college to make money, but you need to get knowledge to improve yourself because improvement and daily learning is the only way you grow. The day you stop learning is the day you
You
start
start
dying.
dying.
So
Sure.
you must learn. You must go to college. Why do you go to college? The people there are better equipped to give you the requisite knowledge that you require to take it to the level where you need to go to. There are courses for roadblocks. Kids now these days, they're into various kind of Legos and you're wondering what they're doing. They need to study those things to really understand how it works. There is a lot of things going on and you need that knowledge. So going to college for the young people right now is a must if you want to be a better version of yourself.
Sure. You said it all. Awesome. You really did. You said you don't want to be left behind. And true.
No.
And that's why, even now, online stores,
Yeah.
gone are the days, if you have your store, a physical store, you don't want to be left behind. A lot of
Mhm.
things have been left behind. You remember the other time we used to have these analog phones. We'll move to mobile phones. We'll move to
Yes.
cyber technology. And so you
Mhm.
can imagine if you're still with analog phone. So
Yes. And you can
meaning
even
that if I want to reach you, is only when you get home that I
yes.
can speak with you.
And you
And
can
the analog
remember,
phone you can't carry it around.
yeah, you can. And you can even remember Kodak and how they used to do videos in those days or how to do our
Yes,
films. You need to go to the dark room. But right now, improvement has taken place. Technology has
sure.
overtaken those things. More knowledge has made those things better, improved for us. So you need to go to college to get requisite knowledge.
Yeah. And I love what that word, the three said, you learn, you relearn, and you will learn. Because there are things you probably must have picked whilst growing up, while in your journey to
Mhm,
success, that you need to unlearn that is not the way to go, in
mhm,
this age. You will need to unlearn and you need
mhm,
to relearn and you need to learn new things you've never seen in your word. Because going to college is an intellectual, you are actually broadening your intellectual capacity. You're also networking. You're also in the vast, while going to knowledge, maturity sets in. You get
mhm,
prepared for life to tackle whatever challenges you get to meet in life.
mhm,
And so
mhm.
the very essence, like our guest today just rightly said, you don't want to be left behind. You want to be
Mhm,
at par with other people
mhm.
or even be above them. So
Yeah.
why would you not want to go to school? Why would you not want to be in college? The diverse way you could learn different things. There
Mhm,
are, advanced college. There are colleges where, it's not so advanced, depending on your level where you find yourself. If you've never been to an high school or college, there are things you can still learn. There's still
mhm,
different, classes you can attend. Some are, maybe you're learning a trade, but learning is key. Learning is key to anyone growing. For you
exactly.
to grow, you need to learn. The day
Mhm,
you stop learning, your brain cells start dying, and you start dying automatically. Before you know it, it starts reflecting all over you because you
mhm,
have nothing to you. You don't have any information, and information is key. Information is money.
mhm.
So you need to network with other people. It is said that if you want to go fast in life, go alone. But if you want to go, very far,
You
you
need
go
to go with
with
a
people.
team.
So, and going with a team starts by going to college, networking with like minds, just like me and Eruke. I probably wouldn't have even seen her or call her. We belong to the same group. So, like minds, you attract. Whereas on like minds, repel. I saw her and a story thrilled me. And when I spoke with Essie said, "Oh, God, story. This is another lady with a great story." And I said, "Okay, I can allow her to go." I kept on sending you mail even when I didn't have your contacts to
Yes.
make sure you respond. This afternoon, it was almost like, I was like, God, how do I reach this lady? Do I have to call Essie to say, "Oh my God"? Oh, I just quickly send a mail. And just right there, you were online. I could see you, and I was like, "Oh my God, look at the lady I'm talking to." So it is very essential. Going to school or going to college or learning a trade is key to development in life. And that's what we call personal development. There are things in you that you love to do, but you need to get good at doing them. And how do you get good at doing them? You need to learn from others who have gone ahead of you. And that's why we're bringing, great men and women to the show where we can glean from them. They've been through some diverse trauma and trial in life, and they've gone through their journey in pain, some crying, some like, "Oh my God, I'm going to end it all." But God saw them through. So we bring them to share their story so that we can learn from them. And we do not need to reinvent the wheel. If I know that Eruke has written a book before and I have difficulty in doing that, I can reach out to her and say, "Eruke, how did you manage? What did you do to get good at what you do?" Like John Maxwell always says, beat by beat, step by step, you will get there. You cannot get there. He said Rome was never built in a day. You must start somewhere. There must be a movement. Like Martin Luther often said, he said, if you are crawling, keep crawling. If you know how to work, work. And if you know how to run, run. If you
Right.
want to fly, fly. But he said, by all means,
Keep
keep moving
moving.
something, keep doing something, and you get good at doing it. Like I shared recently in my Toastmaster meeting, how everyone communicates, few
Feel
connects.
connect.
It is said that no leader got good at doing whatever they were doing at the first time, meaning that the first time will never be good. But as you keep doing it,
You get better at it.
and you have what you call the compounding effects. Whilst doing it every day, you get good and you keep improving. And that's it. So, like she rightly said, you need to learn. And the only way to keep your cells, your brain cells alive, go to school, learn. It doesn't have to be a four wall of school. It can be an online school. It can be learning a trade, but just keep doing something. You will get to your destined point where God is
Definitely.
for you, and you will make a difference in your world. We've all been called in a different world. Where she operates, I am not there. She's operating in a world. I'm operating in my world. So there is no reason for competition, but rather collaboration, coming together to synergize, finding where she's good and say, "Oh, Eruke, don't you think you would need to help me in this area?" And Eruke say, "Oh, Sandra, you do great flyers. Don't you think I need to learn?" And we can come together, and she doesn't even need to pay anything. I get to show her how to do it because I learned from somewhere. So coming together is key. We need teamwork. We need to learn to synergize. Forget whatever differences we have, whatever ethnic or tribal, whatever. Just put it aside. Learn what you have been called to do. What difference have God created you to be? And that's the reason in my show I said you need to know your why. It is said
Yeah.
you do not know the reason why you're here. Abuse is inevitable. When you don't know the reason why I have this pen, I probably will use it anyhow. I wouldn't value it. But when I know the purpose of a thing, I tend to want to value it and keep it rightly so that it can last me forever. Thank you so much for those short words. They were so punching. Such that I couldn't let the word go. I needed to expatiate on it and bring some life. Like you rightly said, you said robotics. There's a lot of things that are going on now. You can't be left behind. You can't afford to be left behind. Thank you
Definitely.
so much. And I want to find out what you're doing right now. Is it what you studied in college? Or whilst going on in life, you discover yourself? Because I know that it's always a time in one's life you rediscover yourself.
And
Sometimes it's what you read in school that you continue with. Maybe you found passion in it and it
Mhm.
was something God had given you or called you to do. So can you tell us that story?
Okay, so it comes in diverse way. So in my first degree, I studied English, and over time, when I got my first job, I worked in customer service, and I got into an advisor role. Then from there, I'm working with the Canadian Red Cross. But one of the things I've come to realize about your working tools and what you do and your experience in life is that as you go along the way, you learn different skills with you, and they become part of what shapes you and what gives you that drive to become the person you want to be. And I also want to tell you, Sandra, that I also work with teenagers, like I said, like you read, and also with children. And I've done that practically all my life. And I've always played a mentoring and coaching role for people. So even though I studied English, I had something innate inside of me that needed to come out. And what was that? That compassionate nature that I have that led me to customer service, because I don't want to see customers suffer. I don't want to see anyone suffer. I want to see people being elevated and being enlightened. So that
Yeah.
gave me that dream to want to help other people. And again, when I started teaching with children and helping them, there was also that mentoring task. There was also that willing spirit to want to do, you know what, I want to impact knowledge on someone. I want to teach somebody. I want somebody to know something. And guess what, Sandra? All my four kids want to be teachers. They all want to be mentors.
Oh
They all
my
want to be
God.
coaches. And they say, Mommy, you teach so well. You can teach anyone. And that brings me to the quote. If you can't teach it to a child, you don't know it. If you can't teach whatever you know to a child, you don't know it. So for me, my studying English, and my second language is communications management, how to manage communication, and which I do very well again. And again, my leadership role, the things I've learned along the way has helped me. So I'm coaching, and again, I've written a book. It's ready to be published. You'll soon get it in Amazon. You'll get it in Barnes and Nobles. You'll get it in Kobo. You get it in all the books, every bookshop, globally. It will be made available. And all of those things stemmed from what I studied from school. Number one, I studied English, and it's kind of snowballed into something else. Sometimes you could learn a study, or you could learn something in school, but you can actually deviate to other things. Maybe some of us were first to do what we read in school. Some
Yeah.
of us wanted a good course, but somehow we were sidelined to read something that was available to us, and we
Sure.
made do with that. But then again, life happens, Sandra. And when life happens to you, you take the bull by the horn and do what you have to do and move on. And
Sure.
when life pulls you down, don't stay down. Reinvent the wheel. Put your put yourself together and get going. As you go along the way, you will learn different things. As you go along the way, you begin to reinvent yourself. Sometimes you start from a point A, and as you go to B, you realize, no, this is not what I want. Life is a journey, it's not a
Sure.
destination. So when you begin to realize that my life is a journey, you realize that you don't make mistakes. You learn from them and you move forward. You would learn to fail forward and not fail backward. You would learn to say, do you know what? I made a mistake here, but do you know what? I learned from the mistake and I move on. So for me, I studied something differently in school, but right now it's broadened up to so many things. You'll be amazed at what I know and what I'm still learning, because learning is a continuous thing. It's something you need doing, and until you're good at what you're doing.
Sure. Awesome. Awesome. Failing forward. That's another book of Papa John. Failing forward. I just got the book because failing forward has to do with failure is negative, but you can look at the positive side of failure. Failure always have the good and the bad side.
Mhm.
So failing forward is like you're not allowing your bitterness or your failure to leave you bitter, rather to leave you better. So that's why in life, whatever thing that happened to you is dependent on how you want to take it. Do you want to allow it to bring you down, or do you want to get better at it? Finding out what are the things for me there to learn? What have I gone through, and what does the God want me to learn so that I can move to the next stage? You know, in life, we all went to school in one way or the other. When
Yeah.
we fail a class, we are asked to repeat the class.
Mm-hmm.
Make good and do well, we are promoted to the next level. So with
Mm-hmm.
life too, if you have a situation you're going through and you don't go through life discovering while you're going through whatever journey in life you're going through, you will live to repeat that journey again. And that's what they say, when you run away from your battles, you will live to fight it again. So, like you rightly said, it's taking the bull by the horn and combating your fear and dealing with it. It is
Mm-hmm.
said that life is a journey, life is a marathon and not a sprint. You don't just run fast and you get there and that's
Yeah.
it. Life is a long time, is a journey, never ending journey until you are called home. The day you're called home, that's the final. You have finished your journey. So great, 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 great. So, like I rightly said, failure and success is not a final destination. Success is not final. Like it's a failure makes you go back to the drawing board. Much more, you learn more when you fail.
Yes, absolutely.
But in success, if you're not careful, pride sets in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go back to the drawing board. And that's why it is said failure and success should be kept together, as this will help you to be resilient in life.
Yes.
Keep going, because when you fail, you want to go back again to find out, oh, why did I fail? I must see it this time around. And I want to thank you for this session. I just want to give you 1 or 2 minutes break to take water, and then we'll come back to this show.
All right.
Have you got a copy of this book, Can Anything Hold You Back? Subtitled Making a Difference? You need to go get it now. We are called not to fit into the pattern of the world, but to stand out. These can only be achieved by being self-aware. This book is available now on Amazon.com and Jumaya.com as an ebook as well as a print book. It is also available for purchase on www.sandraukoh.com.
Hey, welcome back from our short break.
Mhm.
Hey,
That's a
awesome.
beautiful book.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Then I want to also find out, you've been working as a leadership and you've been mentoring children, youths. I think there's a network. The summer in network, and we will have to just give her a break, 1 or 2 minutes for her to come in to the show. So before that, let me just put something on that would engage us. Hello.
Hey,
Yeah, what happened? You just went off. So whilst
technology.
trying to, oh my God. Well, that's why it's technology. It's not human.
Oh my goodness, that's so good.
No, I didn't want that to disturb the flow. I said, let me get something on so that whilst. So thank you and welcome back. Thank God you're back.
Thank you.
So how have you managed your relationship with your job, your family? Because I know that sometimes that could be, issues for women too. You have to travel, you have to go to school, the kids have to be sometimes alone by themselves,
Mhm.
or you get someone to stand in for you or your spouse to stay in with them. Have you been able to manage your business, managing the family and the relationship along your journey to success?
Okay, so in journey in life, I've come to realize that nothing there's really nothing you can do about things that would happen. During your journey in life, things would happen. So
Yeah,
I've come to realize that
life happens.
yes, look, so when life happens, I've come to really make room for those kind of things. So right now, I moved from my country to a different country. I'm working, my kids are going to school, I'm trying to start a new business here, and I have a family to manage. How do I put all of these together? And again, I'm still learning, I'm still going to school. Sandra, you know how the courses are with the John Maxwell team. You have morning calls, you have evening
Yeah,
calls, you have things you need to put together. How do I manage to put all of these together? The thing is, you will learn how to put structure in place. And sometimes, Sandra, the structures will fail you. There are times I sit back and I'm like, do you know what? I'm not doing again. I just put the duvet all over my head and said, you know what? I'm not coming out today. Today I feel like an awful failure. There are days where you feel like, you know what? You're all made up like a doll and you feel you've got the world in control. You've got all your high heels on, your hair is flying, your makeup is in place, and you are going. And there are days, come on, you just don't want to do anything. There are
sure.
days where the kids are going to run you down, and you're like, did I just give birth to four kids? Who asked me to do that? What was I thinking? Really? And there are days, you have so many deadlines to meet, and you're not able to meet them. Life really happens in that stage.
So
And
what do you
here's the
do at
thing.
those period?
So at that point, when I see those things come, first of all, I apologize. If I have appointments I needed to keep and I'm not able to keep them, I apologize. And I let you know right on time to say, do you know what? I also have met this deadline. I have this class I'm supposed to take, but I'm unable to do it. And my apologies coming with schedule. And there are times where I'm able to make all of my schedules go through, and that's awesome. There are times my boss would call me and say, you know what? Your productivity is low, you're not performing optimally, and you need to up your game. I go back to the drawing book and I begin to do things again. One of the things that have kept me, Sandra, is the fact that nothing is permanent. You need to learn as you go along the way in your
Sure,
journey
it's
in
a
life.
journey. We're
You
still
go
learning.
back to the drawing board and you will reinvent it all over again. Sometimes what worked for you in the past would not work for you now. While I was in Nigeria, the way the work system was structured, it was different. It worked well with me, but right now it's not working that way. So what did I do? I went back to the drawing board. Some things will need to change. Some things will remain the same. Some things you need to find a way around them. And while you're also doing it, at some point in my life, Sandra, I had to drop some things. I felt
Sure.
I had so much on my plate, I couldn't handle them. I was getting, buried into the work that I didn't have time for anything else. And no matter what you do, one of the things would suffer.
Sure.
So you would need to make your choices and ask yourself,
And
which
based
is
your
most
priorities.
important at this time? Which
Sure.
is urgent? Which is important? What can wait? What can I put forward? What do I need to do at this point? I'll tell you a story,
And
Sandra.
what can you
Mhm.
delegate?
What can be
Okay, you give to
delegated?
someone else to do.
What can I give someone else to do? Can I do this alone? You said something at the beginning. Working with other people, you need to learn how to collaborate.
Yeah.
At some point, your place will become so full, you need to hand over some things to some other people. I said, do you know what? At this point, I can't do it myself. Can I collaborate with you? Can you take this off my plate? Can I begin to look at things differently? Sandra, one of the things we need to learn about life is everything, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. At some point, I felt my business was the most important thing. But so when you look back again and look at the kids they're growing, you ask yourself, what is most important to you right now? Sometimes you think the money, the finances are the most important. At some other times, your relationship will take over. At some other times, your business will take over. But in all of these, you need to go back and ask yourself, what's my priority? What's my purpose? Why am I doing what I'm doing? You go back to the why question. You go back and sit and ask yourself, what can I do differently? And guess what, Sandra? There are things that we can do differently. The ways we do things, the way we've been doing things before, we can reinvent them again and do them
Sure.
differently. And when you do that, you'll find that the dogs will not always be in a row, but you can find your purpose and know where you're going.
Sure. Sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. I also want to find out. I know that when we go through troubled times, we look up to God, and we know that it's only but for a moment. This too will
Mhm.
pass away, and
Definitely.
we keep doing what we're doing, and we get good at doing it. When you had great moments, how did you celebrate? And I also hear that great story that Essie told me about that you have, so I don't keep you longer than necessary.
I have a lot of great stories. I will just start with one that happened today. I have a son who needs medical attention from time to time. And
Okay.
today I'm at work and I've been having in my head, what am I going to do differently today? And guess what? And I was just called to say, do you know what's going to pick up your child? You need to pick him up. You have things you need to deal with. So I went to school, picked him up, and do you know what? I'm here having this wonderful discussion with you. And this may not have happened today if that had not happened. A lot of things happen in life that you think will push you down and make you feel really, really down. I work with kids a lot, special needs children, all kind of kids, children with issues, straight head children, how to make children get A's in all their classes and everything. But guess what? My kids need to go to the hospital almost every other time. And I ask myself, God, but I work for you and I work with children. Why me? And he says, who then? And I said, I don't know, someone else. And he
Oh
says,
my
don't
God.
worry, I would never give you more than you can bear.
Sure.
Sometimes when you go through these life things, those are my stories. Those are my success stories, Sandra. When you go through these things, you are able to encourage someone else. Because
Yeah, and
sometimes when
sometimes
you,
God allows us to go through these things to be able to stand in for others.
yeah,
Who should go through it?
I don't
How about
know.
times I tell God, say, why me?
And
Why? And I'm like, then who should it be?
and he
So
asks you
most
then,
times I've changed my story. I don't ask God why me. I just tell him, Lord, I'm ready to learn what you want me to learn.
what do you
So
want me to
because I am
learn?
ready to move to my next stage. Because
Yes.
it is only when you learn those things that God is saying, oh my God, you are matured. You are coming up to speed. Then move to the next class. And that's what happened with students in school. Once you're good, your teacher move you up. And sometimes you
Mhm.
have double promotion because you're
Yeah.
exceptionally good. So once you're doing things right, things move for you. God
Hmm.
moves you to the next level.
Yes. And I've learned every day to be grateful. So I
Sure.
don't take every day for granted.
Not at
So when you
all.
look at the kids, you were excited. There are days they make you angry, but then again, you look at them and say, these are special gifts from God. So
Sure.
every single day, Sandra, I practice gratitude. So no
Yeah.
matter how little that thing is, I am grateful for it. I look for a reason. I look for something to be grateful for, no matter how little. It could be as little as, do you know what? Ah, I got something to eat today. How wonderful can that be? I'm able to buy anything I want. How
Sure.
wonderful can that be? I can have all the troubles in the world. I can be buffeted on every side. I can even be in the hospital. But guess what? I'm grateful. I am
Sure.
so grateful because sometimes when you see the man that doesn't have a foot and you're crying, you don't have a shoe to wear, you're thankful you have your feet to walk on the barefoot.
You
So
know,
I learn to be grateful every time,
sure.
Sandra.
It is said that your gratitude determines your altitude in life. How
Hmm.
far you will go on de-
Attitude.
is dependent on how grateful you are. I've also learned to be grateful.
Hmm.
We've all been through diverse situations, but we have not ended our life. One of the reasons
No.
I do this show too, because I know in this side of the world, people go through diverse situation, and they want to end it all when it doesn't go their way. So, one thing I want people to take through this: life was never promised to be all smooth bed
Yes.
of roses. There
Mhm.
are times there will be ups and there will be down. When the downs come, be ready to go through your down so that when
Mhm.
the moment come, be ready to celebrate and be grateful. Even
Yes.
when you are in your low moments, be thankful to ask God, I am grateful I can go through this. Because it is
Yes.
said there are no temptation that will come to you that
You can
is
have strength
beyond
enough.
you. But because he would always create a way of escape. So
Yeah.
just ask God, what is that way of escape? What is that thing you want me to learn? And whilst doing all this, you will see the door open.
Yes.
So
And
you
guess
can
what, Sandra? Do you know how you can see how beautiful the rose is? It has thorns in it. So
you
you
just
get
said it.
sprigs with the roses. They are beautiful, but they've got thorns too. And it's just the same way with the sandpaper. Do you know what it does? It has those really rough edges, but it's smoothing you out. So all of those things that buffets you in life, they are there to smoothen out the rough edges around you.
Sure. Awesome. That's a great way to call this, to bring this on end. Thank you so much. The sandpaper brings the smoothness, the things.
Mhm.
It takes all the rough edges away
Okay.
and make you better. I want to thank you for this. I think I would have to invite you again. I don't want to keep you longer than necessary. I know you've got a lot to say, and I wish to keep you here longer than necessary, but I'll let you go today. But I would often call you because I'm
Right.
enjoying to hear from you, and I guess there's something that tells me you have more to talk. I think maybe in a later time I'll bring you up again so we can share
Okay.
all the side of life, and
Hmm.
we can impact our audience, and
Yes,
we
you
can
can.
impact our world. We've all
Mhm.
been called to make a difference in our world.
Yes.
Wherever you find yourself, please make a difference. You've been called to make a difference. We've all been called to be. We are all leaders. It is said, everything rises and falls with a leader.
Only the-
A
Yeah.
leader is one who knows it and shows it to
Oh,
all.
amazing
Just
God.
like she knows it, she's telling us, showing us all the parts and all the things. There's some things she's saying too. I'm trying like, oh my God, she said something that resonated with me. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to use it often and often again. We'll learn. We're all in the journey
Hmm.
to be good, to get
Yeah.
good. So no one has arrived. The
Mhm.
moment you arrive, that's like you're coming home to meet God. We never arrived. We're still on that journey.
Yes, we're
And we
learning
keep
every day.
working as long as we have breath in our nostrils. I
Mhm.
want to thank our audience for watching and staying true with us, and those who be probably coming back again to watch this video. I just bless God that, and I pray that this meets that need in your heart, and
Mhm.
that thing, that insatiable hunger or thirst that you have for a greater and a better tomorrow, that God will meet you at the very point of your need. I want to thank you for honoring our invitation,
Mhm.
Eruke. It's a great one having you on this show. And we're calling it a day. I want to say have a blessed evening and do take
Thank
care of
you.
yourself.
I will. Thank you. Bye.